When your supporters last night were chanting, "Send her back," why didn't you stop them? Why didn't you ask them to stop saying that?
Well, number one, I think I did. I started speaking very quickly. It really was a loud, I disagree with it, by the way, but it was quite a chant, and I felt a little bit badly about it, but I will say this, I did, and I started speaking very quickly.
That's how President Trump describes his reaction to his supporters' chants at a campaign rally in North Carolina last night. So let's go to the videotape.
Omar has a history of launching vicious anti-Semitic screeds.
This was the clearest evidence yet of what the 2020 race will be like. The president fueling his campaign with racism and nationalism, and the Democrats having to respond every time Trump hits the trail. Both those Democrats he's targeting.
This is not about me. This is about us fighting for what this country truly should be and what it deserves to be.
And those challenging him for the White House. In a campaign defined by race, that won't always be easy, especially in states where Trump skillfully leveraged white resentment in 2016.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Trump Broken Promises bus tour. We're going to find all the broken promises across these 3 states that Trump has made, and we're going to talk about real promises and real solutions to the problems people have. It'll be fun.
Kirsten Gillibrand's near the bottom of the 2020 pack by every measure. So she did what campaigns do when they need a little love from the political press. She got a bus, hit the road, and tried her best to seem like she was enjoying herself.
Hey everybody! Welcome to my bus. What do you think? You like it? I'll come back.
Are you having fun doing this?
I am. So bus tours are fun. And this is day 1. We'll be at it for a few days. I have a whole bunch of reporters in the back of the bus, which is great, and my staff. And we've got some plans tonight for some cards, maybe a little whiskey, I don't know.
She's focusing on Pennsylvania, Ohio, and Michigan, all states that twice went to Obama and then went to Trump in 2016. That includes Youngstown, a Democratic stronghold Trump nearly flipped last cycle, winning over some union workers with his pledge to rip up NAFTA and bring back auto manufacturing jobs. But that didn't happen here. General Motors shuttered its plant in nearby Lordstown a few months ago.
I gotta tell you, coming to Youngstown, Ohio, coming to this community that has really borne the brunt of President Trump's broken promises is one of the most important things I'm going to do in this presidential campaign.
Gillibrand's visit is also a reminder of the challenges her party faces here with white voters.
Now, this is an area that across all demographics has been depressed because of the loss of its industry and an opioid crisis. So what do you have to say to people in this area about so-called white privilege?
I understand families in this community are suffering deeply. I fully hear from you and folks that I've talked to just in the few minutes I've been here that it is devastating when you've lost your job, you lost your ability to provide for your kids, that when you've put 20, 30 years into a company that all of a sudden doesn't care about you and won't call you back and gives you a day to move, that is not acceptable and not okay. So no one in that circumstance feels privileged on any level. But that's not what that conversation is about.
What is it about?
I'm going to explain. What that conversation about is when a community has been left behind for generations because of the color of their skin. When you've been denied job after job after job because you're black or because you're brown. Institutional racism is real. It doesn't take away your pain or your suffering. It's just a different issue.
A lot of union members here voted for Clinton. For them, it's not a matter of whether they prefer Gillibrand to Trump. It's whether they should consider another New York senator over a front-running populist like Warren or Sanders, or a battle-tested Rust Belt native like Biden. How has the Trump presidency affected your life here in Youngstown, Ohio, if it has at all?
It has. I have no job. The same job that he told me don't sell my house for. The same job he said is coming back. Where is it?
Do you think that Senator Gillibrand could beat him in a general election?
I don't know.
After Youngstown, Gillibrand took this message to Cleveland, Flint, and Lansing. As the bus tour ended, a new poll showed her at 0%, lower than not sure and none.
I want to ask you about just a few headlines that have been in the news about you. The New York Times had a headline recently that said Kirsten Gillibrand is struggling. Politico said Kirsten Gillibrand's failure to launch. Do you get sick of reading headlines like that?
Well, I know why I'm running for president, and I know that my message is the strongest one. I mean, I've taken on the Pentagon, banks, Congress itself. I've voted against President Trump's agenda more than anybody else. I do take on the fights others won't.
So then why aren't you doing better in the polls?
I think it's because it's just early. I don't have the name recognition that some of our frontrunners do. So a lot of polling is sometimes
You're
just
a U.S. senator, though. I mean,
yeah,
from
but
New
there's
York.
100 of us, and you'll just see I probably only have 50% name recognition. It's just going to take longer because I'm introducing myself to the American people, and they don't know much about me.
Gillibrand says she just needs more time, but she may not get it. Monday, the FEC published second quarter fundraising numbers showing that her campaign is struggling and burning through cash faster than any other candidate.
Will you make it to these states in this campaign race if you can't break through in Iowa and South Carolina?
Yeah, I will. And I think it's important to speak to all Americans everywhere. Those white suburban ladies in Michigan and Ohio and Pennsylvania, I've delivered a message that not only encompasses their concerns and worries, but also encompasses the concerns and worries of our base, of Black women, of communities of color, of hardworking Americans who can't make ends meet. And I've delivered a message that speaks to all of them.